Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mend. So, good old trusty Jackie Daytona and myself are here today I'm so excited for this video. So I put up a post, I think it was last week. By the time, this will be going up this week. That I wanted to do something fun and just a little bit different on my channel that isn't just all tarot and oracle card related. I love that. I definitely going to think of a video of like doing cards and asking questions and things like that, right? Just a little bit on a different, but that's a video for another day. But today, just so I can find it again. Now I have many pendulums and I'll definitely show them, but this is the one I chose for today. It's a goldstone one. Hold on. Yeah, it's a goldstone one that I picked for the questions that you amazing people have sent in. There was so many. I was actually blown away. I was blown away by how many of you sent in questions. So I just want to chat for a few minutes before we get into the questions, because I do kind of have this whole thing of how I set myself up for asking the pendulum questions. We need a sip of coffee. And how I center myself and ground myself, and I bring in my ancestors and spirit guides and all that stuff. But I must do a disclaimer first, because that is super important when it comes to these types of videos. Is obviously these aren't substitute for any medical, finance, and any professionals, legal advice as well, right? That's not, even if you did send it in, I probably wouldn't answer the question anyway. It's because the pendulum, again, is subjective, right? It's open to interpretation. And so this is only for fun. There's no facts. There's no, I can't say it's 100% true, because again, it is for entertainment purposes only. All right, so it's only a bit of fun. This isn't to be taken as fact, solid, you know. Look, we're all grown adults, we can all make our own decisions, but I do want to state that this is only for fun. It is literally for entertainment purposes only. Thank you so much for sending in your questions, and of course it's just important to make sure that you know that these are only just a bit of lightheartedness, something to create a little bit of conversation as well. I feel like we can have great conversations after about like the answers that might have come up, because I know some of you had written in as well that ye have asked the pendulum questions and the answers that ye got. So I took your questions, but I didn't, for those of you that did send in about asking your own pendulums, I didn't take your answers down because I didn't want it to influence mine. Again, just to reiterate, the pendulum and any kind of types of divination is open to interpretation. It isn't 100% true or fact or anything like that. It's just something that I wanted to bring a little bit of difference to the channel, that's all. Just something a little bit, you know, off from talking about decks and things like that. Something a little bit more deep divey, and you know, that open conversations. Whether you believe in it or not, that's totally fine. I totally respect that. I personally love pendulums. I've had some very fun interactions with my pendulums. I've even used my necklace as a pendulum. So anything. So for those of you that may not know what a pendulum is, I don't think anyone that follows me here probably knows what a pendulum is. But if you don't, it is basically like a chain with a weight or a hold. I think it's called a dobber. I don't know. I call it my little holder, that you hold between your thumb and your index finger, or you can hold it between your middle finger, ring finger, whatever you're comfortable with. I personally choose my thumb and my index. Now, I always like to rest my hand. I don't have a particularly shaky hand, so it's pretty steady. And then you have your little pendulum at the bottom. And so that's your little weight, and this then will move back and forth, or heather and over, or it'll go around in circles as well. So we'll determine the yes and no on camera, and then the maybe or I don't know. So that's pretty much it. My brother always joked, he said it was a swinging Ouija board. That's not how I see it. I feel like a Ouija board is completely separate and totally different to a pendulum. A lot of people will say that it's your subconscious mind that might be moving it. Some people say that it is just the way we're holding it and the way it'll swing, whatnot. Again, totally open to interpretation. This is just a bit lighthearted fun. I'm super excited because some of your questions are fantastic, and so these are all just your questions that I've added today. I didn't bother adding any of my own because I feel like some of these we can actually go a little bit deeper into as well. And also, some of the questions that are going to come up are either, you know, some of them can be a bit heavy, some of them might be, I know somebody said that one might be a bit controversial. There is no disrespect here, just to make that very, very clear. There is no disrespect to any belief systems or religions, spiritual or spirituality or anything like that. Maybe you don't believe in any of it at all, and that is totally fine. I just want to make that very, very clear that there is genuinely no disrespect here. It is all coming from a place of love, respect, highest of, you know, highest of respect, and the intentions are all good, lightheartedness, nothing of disrespect. And if you're going to be disrespectful about it in the comments, please refrain from doing so, because everything is open for debate and discussion, absolutely, but I won't tolerate any rudeness or arrogance or my way or no way thinking. That's it, I think. Yeah, I think I've yapped enough. It's a long intro, but I want to make all this very, very clear before I got into the video. This is my first time doing this, and I'd like to make it a regular thing here on my channel. So, without further ado, let me set up and we'll get comfy cozy, and I'll see what way I can work the camera so that we can include myself and the pendulum so that we can see the reactions and whatnot. Let's get into it. Okay, so I think this way might work. We'll try it. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm making sure to talk pretty loud and clear. This is the best way I could do it to make sure that, you know, my hand stays stays steady. So, first of all, what I want to do is I'm going to light some positive vibes. It's going to be backwards for you guys. Just to create a really good sacred space. Because again, for me, when working with pendulums, you're working with energy, okay? So it's very important that I set the right tone and the right vibe for my setup, for my sacred space of what I'm intending to bring up. Intending to bring up? No. What I'm intending to ask and the answers that I'm looking for. So you get a bit of an insight into how I kind of work with energy as well. So I have done a meditation before this, and I have grounded. So I feel like for me, it's personally very, very important to do that. So I want to take a couple of deep breaths. So if you want to join me, please feel free to do so. Oh my gosh. Actually, I want to bring in my amethyst. So for me, that's always helping me to connect higher. So whether that be, yeah, so I always connect with my crown chakra, and then I visualize me connecting in with my spirit team, so I can call them in. And the reason I picked goldstone then is, for me, it's a bit more of my grounded pendulum, because the rest are like rose quartz, amethyst, I have moonstone, so they're kind of all that higher energy. So for the questions that were here, I wanted to keep it a little bit more grounded for myself. So I'm gonna just close my eyes. And I also call in Archangel Michael to create a layer of protection, even though I already have that protective bubble around me. Because you can never be, you know, you can never be too sure, you can never be too safe either. Setting my intention of the most highest good and highest respect here when it comes to these questions. And there's no rushing here, you know, we're just allowing the energy to flow, to be, and maybe have some great conversations. So I'm old-fashioned, I have them all written down. So this is really funny actually, because this little anchor is off a necklace that belonged to my great-grandmother. So I have the questions here. I have my little Hobonichi divider. I have 2-ish pages, if well, let's say 1, 2, 3 and a bit pages of questions here. So I wanted to divide it into 2 sections, as in some of you have asked kind of like personal questions, a lot of you asked around your pets, so I want to start off with that, and then we'll get into kind of the more nitty gritty, maybe a bit, I don't want to say, you know, a little bit more out there questions. That's what I'm wanting to get at. So again, this video is going to be for someone, not for others. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Okay, so I'm hoping if I do it this way, can you get, so if I hold my hand, I wonder, can we see? Can you guys, I hope. I need to move my pen. This is very professional around here, you guys. So what I can do actually is I can get a book just to study my head. 1 second. Let's get a book. So here we have Women Who Run with Wolves. That's a good solid book. You can't see it. So if I do it here, what if I move back? If I move back, there we go. You guys can see. So it's just something to steady my hand, right? That's all it is at the end of the day. Okay, so I've never used my pendulum on camera, so I'm kind of like, oh my gosh. So I always like to make sure that it is the steadiest that it can be. You guys can see it moving already. I can already vaguely see it. I wear glasses, you guys, for long distance. I don't have my glasses on. So what I'm going to ask is, and I'll try, you know, my pendulums tend to take off, so it takes a little bit of time. So can you please determine the yes? What's my yes? Okay, thank you. So left and right. This way. See the way it's swinging this way? That's our yes. So I'm going to center it. So can you please determine my no? So back and forth then is my no. Thank you. And can you please determine, I'm going to put it as don't know and maybe into one category, because there's no way of determining, because the pendulum only has like 3 answers, so it's like yes, no, maybe. So we can go with maybe. Oh no, you don't want to do that. Thank you. Can you please determine maybe? Okay, so that goes around in circles. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. So we have our yes, which is back and forth, right? So it's like horizontal. And then our no is, sorry, side to side. And our no is back and forth. And then our maybe is our circle. So I'm going to start off with a sip of water first, because it's important that I start off with this. So these are in no particular order whatsoever. I wrote them down as they were coming up on my screen. Again, like I said, I have all your questions written down here because that's loud. Now, I'm going to say your name. I hope you don't mind. Only because you wrote it in the comments. If you'd sent it privately, I won't say your name at all. But because, yeah, I'll put it up in the post. you might want to know what one is your question. You might already know automatically. So I do want to say that one of you sent in on Instagram about like history, facts and secrets, which was super interesting. Again, I want to do that as a separate video because I feel like it's going to be super interesting, and there's like some nitty gritty questions that I'd love to ask. And also another separate video I'm going to be busy here, is asking decks if they like their pairs, which I thought was such a great idea. So I'm going to try and do a poll of some of the decks or whatever, or I might just pair some decks and we can see then, do my decks like the pairs that they're with. So I'm going to get into your personal questions, or it's not even personal questions, but questions that you had about yourselves, or we'd say your animals. A lot of you were asking about your animals, and then I'll get into the ones that are a little bit more nitty gritty, which I really like. Okay, so Michelle asked, do my cat Angel and dog Dexter still come to visit from over the Rainbow Bridge? So, does Michelle's cat Angel and dog Dexter still come to visit from over the Rainbow Bridge? Automatically, Michelle, I can already see this is a yes. But it's kind of spinning a little bit as well, so I'm kind of getting that sense of yes, sometimes. So that's really nice. Okay, thank you. Okay, Summer from Astaria Zen. You asked some fantastic questions, and Michelle, ladies, you're killing me here with the Fae questions. As somebody who's from Ireland, right? I'm wholeheartedly Irish, right? In the sense of my belief of the Fae. Okay, I am asking these because you asked, not because I personally want to know myself. But Summer asked first. I thought this one was a great question. Are goblins and gnomes fighting secretly? So are goblins and gnomes fighting secretly? That's a yes. Interesting. That is super interesting. Okay, thank you. And the other question Summer had was, are pixies making funny faces at me in my window? So, are pixies making funny faces at Summer in through her window? That's a maybe. It's going around in circles. So it's kind of like maybe, but hinging towards no. But it's a maybe. I feel like that's a strong maybe, actually. Yeah, that's saying maybe. So they're neither saying yay or nay here. And I'm not answering this for myself. This is for Summer, because I don't need to know if there's Fae nearby, even though I probably could tell. But Summer wants to know, is there a fairy near? Ooh, that's a strong yes. I also seen like green in my mind, so I don't know. Summer, is that anything like a green fairy, or like in a green tree, of course a green tree, but green. Okay, thank you. So, Rima, I hope that is your name and I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, had two questions. So the second one I do have to adapt. So, Rima asked, will the trip that Rima is planning come to fruition? That's a maybe. It's going around in circles. I'm hoping the camera picks it up there. Yeah. So that's a maybe. I'm getting the sense that really having to work towards this trip, right? As in, it only can come to fruition if you yourself make the steps to make it happen. I hope that makes sense. And then, if so, okay, so we'll say, we'll phrase it as the trip, if it does come to fruition, will it be in, if so, will it permanently, what do I have written there? Okay, if so, will it permanently land in the east? Okay, thank you. That's maybe. And if so, will it permanently land in the west? There's slow maybes there. I suppose the sense that I'm getting when you ask this question is it has to kind of happen or be more in action first. That's the sense that I'm getting. So we shall move on, because I feel like this, we don't want to hang too long on the questions here. Okay, so the next one is by the Eye of Ra, and the question is by the Eye of Ra. See, I'm pronouncing it as A. Did the Eye of Ra leave their gold necklace behind when they were moving a house? Did they leave the gold necklace behind when they were moving a house? Okay, it's saying no. Can you see the way it's going back and forth? It's saying no. Oh, and I'm only keeping my hand underneath it just because that's the force of habit. So that's a no to the gold necklace. Thank you. Thank you. And Heidi asked, okay, so for Heidi, is the tarot project that Heidi has planned for her highest good? So is the tarot project that Heidi has planned for her highest good? Hold on. It's kind of given a maybe. This seems to be a slow answer. 1 second. That can happen. That can happen sometimes. That's all right. Okay, so is the tarot project that Heidi has planned for her highest good? Interesting, Heidi. It's saying maybe. So it's not a yes and it's not a no. There is that kind of sense of no, make up your point. No, I'm only messing. I sometimes get sassy with my pendulums. Don't take it as an offense. I'm like that with my spirit guides. So we have that kind of relationship. It's okay. Thank you. But I am getting the sense that there's something else that needs to be a little bit clearer on it. I feel like there's like maybe a specific area that you're wanting to work on that isn't kind of clear. So it's hard to say which or whether it is for your highest good. That's the sense that I'm getting. I'm just telling you intuitively what I'm picking up. It doesn't mean it's right or fact or true. Okay? No worries there. So Debbie asked, oh, I'm really sorry, Debbie. I'm not sure how to pronounce your new dog's name, and I'm pretty sure you said it in a video, but I will try. So Debbie wants to know, did Rocky send her new dog Roshak to be Bella's best friend? And it's already swinging here. That's a yeah. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah. That's a yeah. That's so sweet. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, these ones are going to make me emotional about your pets and stuff. Oh, okay. So Chris wants to know. Let's move on before I start crying here. Okay, so Chris wants to know, will Chris do that trip around Europe? So will Chris do that trip around Europe? Will Chris do that trip around Europe? We're getting a maybe, Chris. But I can ask again just in case it didn't come up clear on the video. So, will Chris do that trip around Europe? It's a maybe. I hope you can see it swinging around, so it's going in circles, I should say. Okay, thank you. So, Shanna wants to know, I think, Shanna, you just want confirmation in those, don't you? So Shanna wants to know, should she buy the decks now, waiting for her in her NPC cart? It was like a slow yes, but I feel like the pendulum already knew you were going to do it anyway, so that it's more just a confirmation nod towards, yeah, sorry, I moved my hand there. I did move my hand. So it is a yeah, Shannon. So I hope you did go click buy and that this kind of confirmed your purchase. So the next ones now are very different, right? They're not very different. I'm sure people have probably asked questions on this before. But these ones are a little bit different. So D.M.3133, I won't keep saying your username because I don't actually know your name, had some fantastic questions. I remember you asked the pendulum and you got your own answers. Now you can go back to my post and you can see because it is public. But so you asked some questions about, can I connect with gods and goddesses on the other side? So I'm just going to say can DM. I'm just going to refer to you as DM. I hope you don't mind. Connect with gods and goddesses. So I'm assuming that you're coming from an aspect. Now I could also ask, like, can I connect with gods and goddesses? That's totally fine too. So okay, 1 second, we'll get this center. Thank you. So, can DM connect with gods and goddesses on the other side? That's giving me a yes. Thank you. And so you wanted to know as well, were they ever alive? So, were the gods and goddesses ever alive? So that's a yes. But the way I'm picking it up here is yes, but only some. Okay, so not all of them as in alive as humans, I think is what we should have phrased it as. So I will ask it that way. So, thank you. Were gods and goddesses humans at one point? That's a yes. So they were human, which means they would have been alive at one point. Thank you. And can DM connect with angels and archangels? That's a yes. Yep. With a little bit of a maybe in the mix as well. Sorry, I just want to stretch out my hand. Thank you. And so you wanted to know as well, so were angels and ancestors ever human? Oh, interesting. So my pendulum is kind of vibrating a little bit. So it's hinging at no, but a few. So it's like a no and a maybe, but it's not a yes. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. And so the last one you asked, I know you said was controversial, and I want this place, my space here, especially, to be like open, and we can have these conversations, and there's no judgment. And again, we're all curious beings, and we'd like to know answers. Now again, these answers are not fact, they're not, you know, we cannot solely rely on a pendulum for a definitive answer, okay? But the question you did ask, and this is coming from a place of respect and high regard, was Jesus ever alive? So as in, was Jesus an actual being, an actual person? Because I know sometimes we can maybe personify, and they all fit. That's a video for another day. So I won't say was Jesus ever alive. So was Jesus ever a person, a human? So I'm getting that as a yes. So that would mean yes, they were alive, so they were a being. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that they were some great questions, and again, they come from a place of great respect. So I have no idea how to pronounce your name, so I feel like it's Oswabon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I am really sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Now, you asked some fantastic questions. I had the best time. Anytime because you wrote in some more there the weekend, I was like, yes, they're questions I wanted to know the answers to myself. So the first one that you asked was, are there extraterrestrial beings living among us? So are there extraterrestrials or ETs living among us? Oh, that's a maybe. Oh, that's a big maybe. That's interesting. Maybe. Thank you. Thank you. So, and you also asked this great question. So good. So good. Did Atlantis exist? So did Atlantis exist? Oh, cool. So that says yes. I hope you guys can see that. Like, that's a yes. Very cool. All right. And, okay. Is the Loch Ness Monster real? That's saying no. Okay, thank you. Is Sasquatch real? Ooh, that's a yeah. Okay, thank you. Very interesting. I feel like some of you are going to have questions for these questions now. I really do hope so. Okay, so are mermaids real? So are mermaids real? Oh, that's a yeah. That's very interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and we have two more, and then we'll wrap it up. So, oh, okay. So this one here, is shape-shifting possible? Oh, that's a clear yeah. Okay, and I know you asked where is the planet's most haunted place, but I have to ask it in a way that's like a yes or no. So I'm going to ask, is the most haunted place, so I'm going to adapt your question just to have one of my own, but I've taken your question, but you get credit for it. Is the most haunted place in the planet in Ireland? So it's the most haunted place in the world in Ireland. No. Ooh, okay. So I think we'll leave, thank you. So I think we're going to leave it at that, right? We're going to leave it on that question because I'm going to do it in another video. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask for the pendulum, it can be on pretty much anything in the sense of, like, as you can see, mermaids, aliens, ghosties, with respect, of course. Always come from a place of respect when asking these questions. But these are super fun. Again, this was so great. Some of these questions were great. I was interested in some of the answers myself. I was kind of like, oh, I'd love to know what my pendulum would say to that. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope that answers your questions. Again, it was only a bit of fun. It was just something for you to watch and for me to ask questions. It was just, this was great. This was so fun to hang out. And yeah, thank you so much. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Or if you want to email or Instagram me, message me on Instagram. That's totally fine as well. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And remember, stay magical. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.